Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Community Resource Center, which, as I hope the community knows, is a center that has been set up to help impacted people as a result of the recent UPS crash, Flight 2976. We've already had a lot of folks come through the Community Resource Center that are seeking help of all kinds. We know that everyone who's been impacted by this tragic crash is impacted in different ways. And so we have all sorts of resources and navigators that can help individuals and businesses navigate their way to get the support that they need. We're here today because we've added an additional partner to the Community Resource Center, and that is our friends at the United States Small Business Association. They have a team of people that are here that are ready to help any impacted small businesses or impacted nonprofit organizations. They can provide loans of up to $2 million with favorable terms for businesses and nonprofit organizations to help them recover if they had sustained damage, losses, other negative impacts as a result of the crash. So now I'll turn it over to Donica Forum, who's also here with Anthony, that's going to talk a little bit more about what the SBA can do for impacted small businesses. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mayor Greenberg.
Thank
you, everyone. We're very grateful to have been invited into your community to help you recover after this very tragic event. And so businesses, the show must go on. Businesses must remain operational. Business owners would like to keep paying their employees during this time right before the holidays. The SBA provides federal funding in the form of low-interest, long-term loans that provide working capital to sustain businesses during this crucial time. Not only businesses who were directly impacted are eligible, but also businesses that are not directly impacted, that may take some time to feel the downward effects of economic loss. And so those businesses are also eligible. We urge you, please, to come into this center. We have staff on the ground, loan professionals who are here to walk you through the process in person, one-on-one, and we will be here alongside you for as long as we are needed. Our application deadline has been extended through August 17th of 2026, and we are here to answer any questions that you might have. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Please, Anthony, do you?
Yes, our Business Resource Center is open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We have our experts up there that can help businesses impacted by this. We urge all the businesses to come in and they can get one-on-one consultations, and we can help each individual business with their losses. And with that, I'll turn over to the mayor. Or Joe.
So we're happy to take any questions at this point in time.
I have a question. Can people come in even if they're not sure? Maybe like can you guys?
Stay at the mic.
Yep.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a great question. And yes, absolutely. That's why we're here. Again, it may take time to realize any losses. It may take time to realize whether eligibility exists. So come in and allow us to see if we can help. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
This disaster is different than other ones like flooding, hurricanes, things that I've covered. But I'm sure these people do. What are some differences that go into a tragedy like this?
So currently, we are here to support the businesses that were affected. Typically, a natural disaster would also affect homeowners and renters. At this time, as you're aware, loss verifications are still underway. And so we are currently here to help businesses in that way. So there's a phenomenon that we see that exists in the aftermath of disasters where small businesses specifically will incur heavy economic losses. This can then have negative cascading effects on local economies. And so these funds become available to support local businesses in this time so that they can keep operating, especially as things like supply chain interruptions occur and any number of other things.
We heard that there were like 50 businesses. Is that the case? And how many have you guys heard from? Or you could address that there. Needing help.
Yeah, so we've got 90 businesses that are affected in some way, shape, or form by the disaster. Yeah, and we've been in contact with all of them. We've also been still doing escorted privileges for the ones that are in or around the direct site. So, and like I mentioned the other day, we've got 3 phases, and we hope to, open up as utilities are starting to be, opened up and made safe in the certain areas. So, we hope to continue the communication with all the business owners as those things start to take place and open up.
Those 90 businesses, they weren't all destroyed.
No, we're using the word affected.
Yeah, just to provide clarity on that, Stefan. So I mean, there were, as you know, it's beyond the crash site. There's a large area where businesses have not had electricity. They've not had gas. They've not been able to access their building on a regular basis. So they've been impacted, even if physically the building is still there. Others may not even be within that zone, but may be impacted because they rely on a supplier to that business, and so that business is closed down. So there's a lot of other impacts up and down the supply and distribution chain where there might be impact. That's why we want anyone who thinks they're impacted from a business perspective, to come talk to the people at the SBA, or if you're an individual that's been impacted, that's what the Community Resource Center is here for.
Could you describe the current condition of Gray Lane right now?
It's wet. I mean, obviously the conditions out here aren't cooperating with us, but, I walked the site this morning, and there's no reduced number of people working. The same amount of people are out there. They're picking up, the pieces of the aircraft and the evidence that goes along with that. They're cleaning up the other debris after that's been cleared. We've got, the gas lines that are being installed. There's electric workers from LG&E that are on site. The cleanup contractors, multiple contractors from different agencies that are working for UPS that are doing the environmental piece of it, MSD. I mean, there's no shortage, and like I said, the weather's not necessarily cooperating, but that's not stopping the work out there. I mean, it is a huge scene there's a lot of moving parts that's going on.
As far as the rain, is that making it harder for the oil portion of it? I mean, or is it helping dilute it, or is it making it
No,
harder?
we haven't heard anything. They made the proper preparations so that nothing leaves any further than it's left already. So they've been able to put booming systems in, and taking those precautions because of the weather that's been forecasted. So they took those precautions. I mean, these contractors are good. Unfortunately, they do this a lot, but they do it very well, as well.
Jody, I have a question. I spoke to a business owner. They are in that area close to the crash, but they aren't close enough where they were impacted in their building. But they still can't access their building. They were saying that they have a generator that they could use to continue doing business and making their product. What goes into deciding, would you guys be able to let some business owners go back in, or does it have to be like a blanket decision where no one can go in for the time being?
So to my knowledge, unless there's been a direct effect by the environmental cleanup, every business owner has been given the opportunity several times to come in with escorted privileges. So if they haven't, I would challenge them to come to the Community Resource Center and make sure that they give their information so that can get, if there's business owners that haven't been contacted, it's potentially because we don't have that direct contact, and maybe they need, we need to get them to the Community Resource Center to get that information. And something else we're tracking when they come here is their specific needs. So their specific needs are they're being sent from the Community Resource Center over to the site, where the people that are in contact with these businesses, we can make sure that they get that direct access into their building. I gave direct access to a building owner, escorted privileges yesterday. So our hope is that they're coming to the Community Resource Center, giving that information out so that we can get in contact with them. And to my knowledge, we've got contact with all the businesses and been given those escorted privileges in there, unless, again, it's directly affected by the crash itself, and it's been damaged or destroyed because of the crash.
Jody, how well used has this center been since you guys opened it?
I'm sorry,
How well how many people have come in? Has it been pretty heavily used?
we have, it's been, there's a link you can go on the Louisville's website to get a scheduled appointment, and that's the way we'd like, people to do that, and not just have walk-ups, just so we don't get too busy. We don't want people standing in line, but it's been a fairly busy center.
I think to piggyback off Fernando's question, do you have any idea, even, I know it's still early on, there's still a lot to clean up, still a lot to go through, but any ballpark when some of these businesses that can operate but just can't regularly access their building? could be able to get back to operation?
We don't. It could be weeks. We don't expect it to be months. But I don't want to be held to that standard because we're still uncovering challenges that are, every week we have an operational briefing and all the agencies get together and there's challenges. If they're not immediately having to be addressed, they're bringing them to these operational periods and we have to plan accordingly. So, as we as we do this phased approach, the business owners and the public will know. And, as we do phased approaches as well, that doesn't mean we're going to open to the general public. We may give business owners direct access, and like south of Don Hudson, those businesses can come and go as they please. It's just not open to the public. So as we open, they may get access, but the general public may not still, just because it's still all the moving parts.
You said challenges. What can you describe some of the challenges that you might be facing?
The natural gas, the electric, the oil that has to be cleaned up, the debris itself, the heavy equipment that has to be moved. So, the needs of different agencies that are coming in here, there's just a lot of moving parts through that area, and it's just not safe to be in for the general public and some of these businesses. We've got, there's just a lot of contractors in there trying to get this cleaned up quickly and safely.
For the SBA, would we be able to get an idea of the timeline for the help? So these businesses, they come here, they apply for the loan, what happens next? How long does it take for them to get that help?
Certainly, it's a great question. The timeline varies from business to business and depending on the complexity of the application. However, the loan specialists can answer questions specific to that. I will say that the process is applicant driven. And so as long as all of the documentation is provided timely, there is a portal that can be used to upload whatever is necessary. As long as that's done timely, then the borrower can have some control over the duration of that application period. Once approved, if approved, they do have 60 days, 60, to make a determination as to whether or not they want to accept the loan. And so they don't have to. That's the other thing. There's no obligation. A business owner may decide or determine that there's no need for those funds. Businesses may at this time be opting to put their operational costs on a credit card, a line of credit, or something like that with a very high interest rate. We urge those business owners to consider as an option instead coming to the SBA and using our funds to pay those off.
Can you walk us just through, I guess, kind of give business owners an idea when they come here, what is that process going to look like when they come in to talk to you guys?
Sure. So they would be greeted. It's a one-on-one process. You would have someone sit with you for as long as the process takes. We'll take the application and answer any questions necessary to help navigate the system. And so, that might take 15 minutes. It might take an hour. At no time will we rush a surviving business owner.
And we urge business owners to come in before their insurance settlements, right? So they can use the SBA loans to help pay back. They can use their insurance proceeds to help pay back the loans. So don't wait until you get your insurance claims. Come in early, come see us, and then we can settle that down the road.
About how many businesses have you seen so far?
I cannot answer that question.
Yeah, we just opened this morning at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And so when we went up to visit before this press conference, they said they had been busy throughout the day, and we expect them to stay that way for the next couple of weeks.
Can we get your name, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm Anthony Terrell with the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Could you spell your last name?
Sure. Terrell. Donica?
And my name is Donica Farnham, Farnham, and I also represent the U.S. Small Business Administration. Donica.
With the D.
Yes, that's it. That's perfect.
Just one final comment before we wrap up. I just want to also thank the entire community for coming out last night. We had a beautiful remembrance concert with the Louisville Orchestra. Teddy Abrams and his colleagues at the Louisville Orchestra had an absolute wonderful, impactful, moving, emotional concert last night to bring victims' families, first responders, and the community at large together as we continue to heal, as we continue to support the victims' families, which we'll continue to do for as long as necessary, long into the future. Thank you all very much, and we'll continue to keep you updated as we continue to take steps in a positive direction, like bringing the SBA into the Community Resource Center here today. Thank you all very much.